All right, Kimberly. You're muted.
Okay, thanks. I have a question about like breadth and depth. Like I feel like I have this body of work, I have a school, and I feel like what I offer is I don't want to say it's too broad and too deep because it's my work, but I'm getting sort of tripped up in, now that I've gone through your material and I'm trying to clean up my website and point people like through a pathway. I'm just feeling overwhelmed by the breadth and depth of what I've created and how to get people so they're not overwhelmed. So the process is really clear and the channels are logical.
Yeah, I've got a little cat here joining in. I don't know. Yeah, well, boy, there's no quick, easy answers on that. That's just amen. I just got to amen the struggle when you've got so much content. The one thing I'll say is you're in a lucky position because there's the other pole of this position is people don't have any content at all and they're just starting. That's a much harder position to be in than to organize even though it's overwhelming the vast amount, that's easier. So you're in a fortunate position in that way. You know, yeah, I used to have a mentorship program and I would work with people on these things for years, like for 2 or 3 years. We'd be like trying to dig in to organize all of this stuff. But here's a sort of practical thing that can be useful for everybody if you're feeling overwhelmed about all this stuff, especially if you get overwhelmed just sitting at a screen and you can't bear looking at the screen anymore, is just consider the beauty of index cards and Sharpies. It's really worth sitting down and you just take each piece of content, throw it down on a different index card and throw them on the floor or on a table and just start moving them around. You know, paper clips when you get things in groups. Give it time. Give yourself time to just slowly organize it in your head. Oh, this index card's really 2 index cards, right? Make 2, tear that one up. Start to group things, and you can do a website and a business model, all this stuff with those cards. So that's what I would offer, not a solution, but a kind of process that can be really, really helpful. And this is also so worth, you know, inviting a friend over or a colleague who you trust. Just say, can I talk this through with you? I'll make you dinner, but I just need to show you the index cards. Can you just tell me what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what's confusing for you? And you can organize it so many different ways, you know, and you can get it one way, take a photo of that, and then organize it a different way and see if that works better. Because you could organize it by, well, I'm going to, you know, do it by these different target markets or by different stages of somebody's life or by the seasons, but there's so many different ways to do it. So I would give yourself 30 days, some index cards and Sharpies, and just go to town and see what you can come up with in that way. That's if you haven't already tried that before, that's what I would suggest.
Yeah, and maybe I didn't ask the question, and that maybe that's part of my problem is that I'm overwhelmed. I guess what I'm wondering is like, I think I have like 3 different niches
Oh,
and like, I know you don't have to choose one and that would probably make me cry. But I don't know. I don't want to take up too much time. I'm just
what are the 3 different niches?
so I have one where people are in pain right now and they just want to know how can I address my home so my life feels better? Like, because that's my work, is that internal external connection, and our house is showing us what's showing up in our life. And so one is people in pain, and then the other people who are intrigued and they want to make sure that their house is promoting more of what they want. And then the other one is people who want to incorporate this into their design practice or their coaching practice or whatever their holistic practice.
What kind of pain are we talking about?
Like people like, my marriage is failing. I know there's something I want to do with my life. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm feeling like I need a breakthrough, and I know there's something there. I just don't know how to push through. Those are two examples.
So they're in some big crisis moment in their life. And did they see that there's some connection to their physical environment?
They have stumbled upon me, and now they recognize there's a correlation because they're sick of their space. They're sick of a certain room in their space, and they don't necessarily know how to fix it.
Why don't they just go tidy it?
Well, it's like an emotional block, like the designers who can't deal with their own office and they're just like overwhelmed by it. But yeah, they can't tidy it. It's like an emotional block and they don't even know where to start because they're overwhelmed.
Have you written up any case studies of examples of people who came with some, emotional pain in their life and then they redid their home or whatever and then it changed?
Yeah.
So you've gotten those written up? Are they on your website?
I don't have them on my website. No.
Okay. So I would have as many of those as you can get, just case studies on your website. And I would also be sharing those on social media on the regular. Those are just incredibly useful. But again, this is the kind of thing, it's similar to one of the ones we were talking about earlier of the connection of ancestors and grief work. I'd be banging the drum about the connection between, the emotional pain in our life and our lived environments. And that's the kind of thing you can be going on all sorts of podcasts about, where it's like, well, yeah, a lot of people, I don't know, like to spruce things up or declutter, do the Marie Kondo thing, but you seem to be suggesting that, it's a deeper connection than this maybe. And, then you make the case. It's like, here with all these different types of pain that humans go through, here's how this can show up in the environment. And here's how changing the environment has can have a really profound impact. And it's interesting because it's got the contrarian angle of so many people say, no, you start inside, and this is almost saying, well, no, start outside, try that. And here's what that can do for you. So in terms of the different niches, it seems like what percentage of them are each?
I'm not very I'm far along in getting like the material solid, but since COVID, I haven't. So it's hard to say. I'd say right now, like a lot of people are interested in training. I'd say it's like 50-50.
But there's 3.
Oh yeah. Okay, then I think it's mostly just 2. I think it's people in pain and people who want to help people in pain.
Yeah, okay, because I was going to say that middle one, I assumed it would be very small because people being curious about things don't tend to spend money.
No, you're right. It's people in pain and people who want to help people in pain.
There you go. So you've got 2 different things, and I would just make sure that's really clear on your website. And you can literally just have 2 buttons at the simplistic level. One is, hey, yeah, are you in pain and you're curious about how changing your environment could help? And the other one is, hey, are you wanting to help people change their environment to get out of pain? Like, are you a practitioner or healer or whatever, and you want to add this as a modality?
No, that's awesome. Just that helps so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.